What a mad dash to the finish to the NHL season. June 24th, the Stanley Cup gets handed out. We have the draft, we have free agency coming up. It feels like everything is condensed and there's a lot of business that's going to happen between now and July 1st. Here are my 5 most interesting storylines ahead of July 1st. Coming in at number 5, it's the Chicago Blackhawks and Conor Bard. What do the Chicago Blackhawks do to surround this player with a little more skill? They don't want to be a bad team forever. They also don't want to expedite the process to the point that they don't have a group that's coming up together, but they need to provide Conor Bard with a little more to work with in order to get the best out of him. The Chicago Blackhawks and Conor Bard are number 5. At number 4, the Montreal Canadiens and their draft dealings. The last 2 seasons, the last 2 drafts, the Montreal Canadiens have made significant moves for young forwards. They brought in Kirby Dach 2 years ago. They brought in Alex Newhook last year. What do they have up their sleeve? They have a lot of draft capital. They have a lot of good young defensemen. And with Carolina looking to part ways with Martin Necas, is that a player that makes sense for the Montreal Canadiens? Coming in at number 3, Sam Reinhart and the Florida Panthers, or Sam Reinhart and another NHL team. Where does that go? It's not every year we get a 57 goal scorer who scored the game-winning goal in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup going to unrestricted free agency. What kind of number does he get? He's not a 50 goal scorer every single year. He had a massive season. He scored big goals in the playoffs for the Florida Panthers. What does the number look like for another team? What does the number look like for the Florida Panthers if they are able to keep him? Coming in at number 2, Mitch Marner and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So much speculation on what could happen with Marner. Does he sign an extension? Does he get traded? Does he play out the last year of his contract? It could go so many different ways. We have no definitive word on what's going to happen with Mitch Marner. Very fascinating to see how that plays out going into a very busy weekend into the draft. And at number 1, Steven Stamkos and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Who would have thought we would have gotten to this point with Steven Stamkos and the Lightning? They don't have a deal done yet. I think if you looked at it, you would have said, how does this not come in at around $6.5 million for a few years? Maybe you pop an extra year on there, make it a 4-year deal. It's crazy to me that we have gotten to this point. And with the Detroit Red Wings and Steve Yzerman moving Jake Wallman yesterday and a little money off the books, does that make sense as far as Detroit, Steve Yzerman, and Steven Stamkos on July 1st? I guess we'll have to wait and see.